Recording. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 30th. We are convening a session of the Tax Review Board. Today's category is Water Revenue Bureau. My name is Melissa Andre. I'm the Executive Director, and I am with our board. Actually, we have a full board today. Paula Weiss is our chair with George Matthews, John O'Connor, Nancy Camerdiner, and Ryan Boyer. Ryan's phone is off camera's off as well as Nancy. I think she's still trying to get herself on and voice heard. It is my responsibility to let everybody know to please be aware that this is a public hearing and it is being recorded. Because the meeting is public, participants and viewers have no expectation of privacy. And by continuing to be in this meeting, you are consenting to being recorded. This recording will also be posted to the Tax Review Board website. Additionally, I think there's some closed captioning being done as well. So as I explained earlier, the order is 5 and then case 6, but I know the chair has some cases to read into the record.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Tax Review Board hearings for April 30th, 2024 are now in session. Before we move to the petitioners who are present for hearings today, we do have a little bit of housekeeping. On our docket, cases 1 and 4 for the Elizabeth Athena Braun Trust have been continued. Those are docket numbers 7WGX3 and ZY9645 have been continued. Case number 2, which is Zhujiang Li, last 4 digits of the docket 9183, has been withdrawn. With those housekeeping matters out of the way, we are going to move on to case number 3, Andrea Young. Believe the taxpayer is in the office. Yes.
This is case 5.
Case 5. Sorry, I said 3. Cheesesteak Properties. Last 4 digits of the docket 9404. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Hi, my name is Robert Foglio. Last name is F as in Frank, Oglio.
Thank you. Mr. Foglio, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Absolutely.
Great. We're going to turn to the city representatives for the moment to have them read into our record the amounts and controversy that you're questioning. And any opening comments will then come back to you and you can explain to us why you're here and what you're looking for from the board. Okay.
Great.
Mr. Saifuddin, I assume this is your matter?
Yes, both matters this afternoon are for me.
Great. And who do you have with you who's going to testify?
The general WRB witness is Angela Brockington Long. And then I also have Anthony Ellison, who will be appearing in both cases as a witness on technical meter matters.
Okay, so let me swear them both in. Ms. Brockington Long, how are you this afternoon?
I'm good, thank you. I just need the address for this particular case.
It is 245 North 60th Street.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so could you please state your name and position for the record?
Yes, my name is Angela Brockington Long, and I am with the Water Revenue Bureau.
And do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in all matters today will be the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Ellison?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Could you state your name and position with the city, please?
Anthony Ellison, Meter Shop Assistant Manager.
And Mr. Ellison, with all matters coming before the board today, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Brockington Long, we're going to come back to you for this specific matter, Cheesesteak Properties, LLC. Can we get the periods in question and the dollars?
I'm sorry. It just dawned on me, we do not have a court reporter. So I just want to put that on the record. I'm going to reach out, but just for appeal purposes, if this does in fact get appealed, we would have to request the transcript from the Zoom hearing versus one from the Strelo, which is our court reporter. I'm going to reach out to them while the case is going, but I just want to make sure everybody knows, Mr. Saifuddin, sir, from the representative about that situation.
Okay, but we are recording, so
absolutely we are recording, so we can proceed. I just want to note that there's no court reporter.
There's never one in New Jersey anyway, so I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to go back to Ms. Brockington Long. Can we get the periods in question and the dollar amounts?
Yes, the period in question is June 13th, 2019 through March 23rd, 2023. The principal is $18,196.07. Penalty $195.80. Zero lien, and the total $18,391.87.
Okay, Mr. Safedine, any opening comments?
Yes, first on a procedural matter. So the bulk of the amount under challenge is a back bill that was issued on October 14th of 2022. The petition in this matter was filed on March 21st, 2023. Accordingly, it's the city's contention that the petition was filed out of time, and the city would object to nunc-pro-tunc consideration of the petition, and asks the board to reject the petition as out of time because the petitioner had actual notice of the bill, city records show, of the October 14th, 2022 bill, and of the procedure to file a petition before the board within the 60-day statute of limitations. The petitioner contacted the city by email, and on or about October 28th, 2022, and on or about November 11th, 2022, i.e. less than a month after.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
The petitioner was informed by email, like I said, less than a month after the back bill was issued, that there had to be a dispute to the board, and was given the board's contact information. The board has, the city does have the text of these emails in its records in basis 2. Nevertheless, the petitioner waited until the end of March 2023 to file a petition. There is no indication that an informal hearing was requested, and in fact, an informal hearing would not have been permitted because the amount in dispute exceeds $10,000. Accordingly, the city would ask that this petition be denied as out of time.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yes. On the substance of the matter, the back bill of October 14th, 2022 was based on a visual reading from the meter. It is therefore an actual reading, and the burden on the customer is the burden is completely on the customer to prove it false, and presumptions must be resolved in the city's favor. That concludes my.
Thank you. All right, so this bill still I'm sorry, what was the date again of this actual $18,000 bill?
Let me pull that up. I believe it is October 14th of 22, but let me double check that, and I can pull that bill momentarily. Just need to.
Yeah, October 17th. I did look at some of this. It looked like it was reversed on 8/18/23. Is that accurate?
That is the result of the master hearing.
Okay, thank you. That clears
So
it.
that should be disregarded before the board.
Okay. All right, then I'm going to turn to Mr. Foglio. There are two issues that the city has raised. The first being the timeliness of your filing a petition to be in front of this board. The statutory requirement is 60 days from receiving the bill. There several months seems to have elapsed. So if you can explain to us the delay in filing the petition, that would be a helpful place to start.
Sure. I don't have the exact dates of when that petition was filed and how it was filed and all that. I do know that we contacted the War Department immediately in October, once we received that bill, and we asked for, I've never been through a petition like this before. So we asked how we handle it. And I believe everything was filed timely. There was, the original one was pushed back. I believe we were supposed to have a hearing in 2023, and that was pushed back a couple of times. Then we had the one, I don't remember exactly what the date was, but I was, here at the hearing, and at that time, the bill was knocked down essentially. I mean, realistically, if you look at it, it's a duplex with, 2 one-bedroom units. In order to get this sort of a bill, you're talking about having a fire hose on consistently for, the entire 32 months. It just,
I'm going to object to this testimony. We are currently discussing only the question of timeliness.
Okay, so Mr. Safety, we're going to give Mr. Foglio some leeway as he's not an attorney.
Just
But
preserving my objection for the record.
so noted. So Mr. Foglio, just explain to us what you did, if anything, between the time you received the bill in October and the tax review board petition appears to have been filed in March of 2023. Is that correct, Sandra? Yes, okay.
I would really have to go back and look at my records to figure that out. I did not assume we were going to be discussing that at all today. I just assumed we were going to be discussing, the actual bill itself and why, again, I've never dealt with something like this before, so I'm not accustomed to it. I apologize.
We understand. We understand. Okay. So when you got the bill in October, what did you do?
I believe I contacted the water company immediately. Well, I contacted my property manager first, asked him if he's ever dealt with this before. And he told me to contact the water department and file the appeal. So that's what we did.
Okay. All right, we're gonna note that objection, Mr. Safety, for the record. So, Mr. Foglio, what would you like to tell us about this property, about water bills, its usage, and why this bill seems high for you and what you're looking for from the board?
Sure. So we've owned this property since about 2015, I believe. And the water bill had been consistent. I mean, somewhere between $40 and $50 a month or so from 2015 to about 2000, well, until the adjusted bill, I guess. So from 2019 through the time until the bill was adjusted, which was March of 2020, the average bill was $46 and change, just about $46. The estimated bill, first of all, I guess I just don't understand why the bill was estimated to begin with. But it was estimated the same number, right around $46, which made sense to us. So we continued to pay the bill, of course. And then we got this, $17,900 bill in October. I mean, that's an additional $560 per month. I mean, it's a 1-bedroom unit. It's impossible to get that high. It's literally impossible. I mean, it's just, I really don't see how that the national average for a duplex is right around $80 to $90 a month. I own 2 other duplexes down in Southwest Philly on Island Ave, and they both come out to, about $93, $94 a month. That being said, when the meter was replaced, which I'm not 100% sure exactly when the meter was replaced, but I know after it was replaced from late 2023 to early 2024, the estimated bill was, or the average bill was, let's see, $90.47 a month. So, I mean, even if you took the average bill from after the meter was replaced and multiplied that by the 32 months for the estimated bill, you're nowhere near $18,000. You're at like 2,900 or so. So
this is a duplex?
it's a duplex, yeah. And to be honest, in 2023, we had a 4-month vacancy as well. In early 2023, I believe it was.
But this bill is 2022, October of 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And so does the meter cover both units?
Correct.
Okay. And what are you said one is a 1-bedroom
They're
apartment?
both 1-bedroom units. They have both of them have veterans living in them, elderly men, no kids, no family members, just 2 older guys living in there.
Okay. But you have testified that you did see that your bills were estimated.
Well, I found out the bills were estimated when I saw the $18,000 bill. I had no idea it was estimated, because we honestly in the past we just pay our bills, automatic. So if I see an anomaly, if I see something that comes in at over $100 a month, then I let the property manager know and he checks for toilets leaking and things like that. But other than that, if nothing like that came up and they were normal, we wouldn't have even said anything or done anything.
Okay. All right, we're going to move to the city then, Mr. Safedine.
Yes, I have a few questions for cross-examination before moving on to direct. Just generally, Cheesesteak Properties LLC owns 245 North 60th Street, correct?
Correct.
What is your relationship to that entity?
I'm co-owner, 50% owner.
Thank you. And the form of this property is a two-story row house, correct?
Correct.
And you've stated there's 2 units in the property?
Correct.
Each one is a 1-bedroom unit.
Correct.
And between June 2019 and October 2022, at least one was occupied by a tenant each, correct?
What was the question again? Between
Excuse me, June of 19 and October of 22.
June of 19 and October of 2022, we probably had a slight vacancy here and there, but generally only for a month or so. I think the only real vacancy we had was 4 months in 2023.
Okay. Now, have you had a plumber inspect the property for leaks?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, whenever basically the whole property was basically
That was my
renovated.
question. It was a yes or no question, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Did they give you a report?
No.
So you don't have it with you?
No.
Now, have there been any other plumbing issues at this property since 2019?
Yes. In June of 2023, there was a leaky toilet, and we had a tenant who wasn't cooperating. We couldn't get in there for a couple months to deal with it.
I sympathize. I have a question actually about something though that happened in 2022, according to our records. If I may briefly share my screen.
I don't know if I'm supposed to see your screen yet, but I only see
Not
Nancy.
yet, not yet.
Okay.
I'm pulling up the relevant item. If you can, please just read this note.
Tim's our property manager. And what's NOD?
Notice of defect.
Okay. Question, how are they able to determine the issue and reason they came? What's QD?
Questioned.
Okay. Okay, so there was an issue in 2022 and he was,
Yeah.
I guess Tim said the neighboring property was causing damage, or what was the situation?
Causing damage. Issue at his property was causing damage to his neighbor's property. Sounds like a pretty substantial leak.
Okay.
And then inspected by a meter technician. Is this ringing any bells for you?
No, but he probably would have emailed me at the time and let me know if there was an issue. But I don't remember. So I'm going to note that date and take a look.
Okay, so you don't dispute this record that there was some issue apparently with the water and it was sufficiently bad to, in June of 2022.
And this is definitely for my property because Tim owns.
They would have asked about the property address. That's why
I just didn't see the property address anywhere. That's why I was.
This is with it. Excuse me. It's associated to. Dang it! I meant to. Sorry, I need to. Sorry, didn't mean to stop sharing. Just share. Need to close out. If you can see here, it's associated with. It shows up in the history for
Okay, I see it.
your for your property.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. So there's no dispute that this relates to your property?
I've never seen it before, but it looks like it according to that. That looks like it.
Thank you.
I was trying to pull up um, Tim's email from that date to see if he did notify me about it. It was 6/29/22, right?
Yes.
What are we looking for?
I'm just trying to see if
He's looking to see
Tim
if he can
notified
find
me
it.
of anything about this and what, if I had any data on what it was, because I mean, I don't see anything from him during that time frame about this property.
Okay. Oh, in that case, if I may just move on, I just have a few more questions for you and then I'll move on to
Sure.
my
Yeah,
witnesses. I just want to establish a quick survey of the property's water's usage, about the fixtures. So how many bathrooms total in the property?
2 bathrooms total.
Each with
One
a
up-
toilet and a faucet?
I'm sorry?
Each with a toilet, a faucet, and a shower?
Correct. I think one has a bathtub and one might have a stand-up shower, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. And each unit has a kitchen
Yes.
with a faucet?
Yep.
Dishwashers or no?
Probably not. We don't generally put in dishwashers. I don't know
And-
for sure, though.
Is there a washing machine in the building at all?
I don't believe so, but I would have to check with my property manager on that.
That's fine. That concludes my cross-examination of Mr. Folio. I'd like to now begin the direct examination of Mr. Ellison.
Yes.
Anthony, could you please state your name for the record?
Anthony Ellison,
And where do you work?
Philadelphia Water Department Meter Shop,
And how long have you worked there?
11 years in May.
What positions have you held there?
Water meter service worker, meter shop supervisor, and now water meter assistant manager.
And what are your responsibilities in that position?
In the position I hold now, my responsibility is to oversee my supervisors and my technicians' work.
And in your previous roles, do you ever install water meters?
Yes,
How often?
every day, from 2013 to 2019.
Okay. And did you receive training to do your jobs at PWD?
Yes,
Did your training include information about PWD's policies and procedures relating to the installation and repair of water meters?
yes,
Does the department have regular policies and procedures about what to do when you install or change a meter?
yes,
Does the water department have regular policies and procedures about making written records when a technician or other representative installs or services a meter?
yes.
What is that policy or procedure?
Basically, when we go into the customer's house, we make sure that the meter and earth that we're looking for is actually inside of that property. And we take records, showing that that meter and earth is inside the property.
Do they take notes?
Yeah, yes,
And do they do this in the place where the meter is?
yes.
And how are those notes taken?
We have a tablet. It's taken electronically through the tablet system.
Okay. Now, does this water department have a system to, does the department have regular policies and procedures about making photographic records when a technician or other representative installs or services a meter?
Yes.
And what is that policy or procedure?
Basically, before we start the work, the technician always take a photo of the meter before we even touch it. And then after we finish, after we update the meter, we take a picture of the new meter,
Okay. And what is used to take these pictures?
a tablet.
Is it the same tablet as used to take the electronic written records?
Yes,
And is there a system to keep track of these written and photographic meter work records?
yes.
What is that system?
Slinky.
And how often do you use Slinky in the course of your work as a supervisor?
every day.
Did your training include information about the way water meters currently installed and serviced by the department work?
Yes,
Did your training include information about the parts of water meters installed and serviced by the Philadelphia Water Department and the functions of those parts?
yes,
Are you familiar with all the models of water meters PWD installs and services today?
yes,
If the board pleases, based on this testimony, I ask that the witness Anthony Ellison be recognized as a custodian of records for the Water Department Meter Division and as an expert in water meters and meters.
Yes, so accepted.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again. Give me one moment to pull up the relevant property or relevant item. Mr. Ellison, do you recognize this document?
yes.
What is it?
It's our completed jobs document.
And where did the information in this document come from?
It comes from the technician's tablet.
Okay. And so does the Water Department make and keep these records as part of its regularly conducted business?
Yes,
Based on this testimony, I move City 1 into evidence. This is City 1, by the way.
So no-
Did someone go to the property at 245 North 60th Street on October 14th, 2022?
yes.
Who?
We actually have contractors that goes out and help us update the meters, called CCI,
And
census.
and Census.
Yes.
And why would Census, the contractor, be performing meter work at a property rather than the Water Department employees directly?
We have over 400,000 homes, and it have to be done in a certain time frame.
Okay. And what project is this in relation to? Is this in relation to a project I should ask?
Yes.
And what project is that?
The AMI project.
And could you briefly explain what the AMI project is?
Basically is a project that's updating every meter in the city of Philadelphia from being read from the van to a cell phone tower.
Okay. So would it be fair to characterize this as a project to replace all existing meters with upgraded meters?
Yes, it's being upgraded to new meters.
Okay. Now, when performing meter upgrades on the Water Department's behalf, are Census employees bound by the same policies and procedures as meter shop personnel?
Yes,
When making written and photographic records of their upgrade work at a property, do the contractors use the same system that a meter shop technician would use?
yes,
Did the contractor perform the upgrade in the property on that date?
yes,
Okay. Now, did the contractor take any photographs of the meter found in the property on October 14, 2022?
yes.
I'm going to stop sharing this. Okay. I'm now sharing a photograph. I'm marking it as City 2 or pair of photographs. Set of 4 photographs. Yeah. Are these the photos that were taken?
Yes.
How do you know?
So you can see the first photo has a picture of the meter, and that has the meter number that's associated with that account.
Can you read out that meter number?
Yes.
If you need me to zoom in, I can zoom in.
0392268.
Okay. Can you please state that before we move forward, can you please state the major components of a water meter assembly?
Yes, meter is basically the assembly. It calculates, it measures how much water is going through the meter.
Okay. Allow me to rephrase. What is a meter assembly made up of? What are its major components?
Basically a chamber.
The meter assembly as a whole.
Okay, I'm sorry. You got the meter body itself, and you have the and register.
Of these parts, the meter body and the ERT, do both interact with the water directly?
Yes.
Both of them interact with the water directly.
So the water goes through the meter, and then the earth spins off of the magnetic force from the meter.
Okay, let me simplify. Which one gets wet?
The meter.
Okay. Now, does the meter body mechanical device?
The meter, yes.
Okay. Now, turning to the ERT, is that one integrated device or does it have distinct subcomponents?
Two distinct components.
Okay, and what are the subcomponents of the ERT?
You have the
Excuse me, we don't really need all of the details.
Okay. So just because this is specifically a back bill situation, the important question here is, can the transmitter portion of the ERT fail separately from the register portion?
yes.
And if the register portion continues to take readings, is there, while the transmitter is down, is there any reason to doubt the readings from the physical register?
No.
Okay. I'd like to introduce this as City 2 into evidence.
So accepted.
And one last thing. Can you, Mr. Ellison, can you read into the record the reading shown by the found meter attachment?
The reading right there is 3554661.
Okay, now, what unit is that in?
What unit is what?
Like, is that
Okay.
gallons, cubic feet,
That's
hundreds of
cubic
cubic feet? Not
Yes.
hundreds of cubic feet, but cubic feet.
Yes.
Thank you. That concludes my direct examination of Mr. Allison. Ellison, if Mr. Foglio has questions for Mr. Ellison, the city yields to him.
Foglio, did you have any questions for Mr. Ellison about the meter?
I would not even know where to begin. I'm nowhere near, anybody who understands how a meter works or anything like that.
Okay, I guess the important part is that the meter has that the meter component is in two parts. There's the actual physical meter that the water runs through and registers water. On top of it is the device called the ERT, which is the electronic device that then transmits what the meter is showing to the water department for billing purposes. So that's how they get your usage amount every month.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess the point of all this, Mr. Saifuddin, is in October of 2022, the meter was replaced or just reviewed? It was
The ERT was replaced as
ERT.
part of the ERT only was replaced as part of the upgrade. That is
and
the point
at that
here.
time,
At that time. And the reading that was discovered was what Mr. Ellison stated. And I should also note here that the reason that we were getting estimated bills before we were sending estimates was that the transmitter portion had failed.
malfunctioning.
But there's no reason to believe, based on that failure, that the physical register portion had also failed. They fail independently. They're one's mechanical, the other is electronic. There's no reason.
But we're not 100% sure if the other one did fail, right?
There's no reason to believe. That's the city's estimate.
And
That's
so-
Mr. Ellison.
Okay.
That's his
Well,
estimate.
I guess I have a question. This might even be a question for Mr. Ellison, but how often have you seen 32 months of a one-bedroom unit, pumping out a $600 water bill consistently for 32 months? I feel like that's probably an anomaly.
I'm going to object to that question because it's outside of the scope of Mr. Ellison's testimony.
All right, I don't know that he could answer that in any event. So this, what was discovered, it appears from the documents, is that for 39 months, the bills were estimated. Is that
It was
correct?
39 months? I'm sorry, I thought it was 32.
I'm sorry, I have 39 in what I'm looking at. Can you put up the account history for Mr. Foley? See?
Yes, I'm gonna find, I have to find the one that that Angela sent.
Yes. And so it does appear that 39 months of estimated bills were sent, and that at the time they actually got into the building with an actual reading, it discovered that those estimates were low. And that's where your very large bill comes from. And that the readings, once the ERT was changed, were not nearly as low, were actually multiples of the estimates, so that we can see a more accurate picture of what the usage is from the reading after the ERT is changed. Would that be correct, Mr. Safety?
Yes.
Okay. It also appears from your testimony and from the city's testimony that from time to time, property had leaks, sometimes significant, maybe sometimes not significant, and those leaks, of course, can spike a bill.
Of course.
Mr. Safety, are you going to put on additional testimony?
Yes, I just have a few short questions for Ms. Brockington Long. Ms. Brockington Long, have you had a chance to review this customer's account?
Yes.
Where are bills being sent for this account?
P.O. Box 700 Spring House, Pennsylvania.
Okay. What charges appeared on the bill for this property from June 13th, 2019 through October 17th, 2022?
Usage, stormwater, and service charges.
Are the usage readings progressive?
Yes.
Were the usage readings during that period actual or estimated?
Estimate.
And were there any months with zero usage?
No.
Okay. Did Mr. Ellison testified that there was a meter shop visit on October 14th of 2022? Did that meter shop visit result in any billing changes or adjustments?
Yes.
What kind?
It was back billed.
Could you please define the term back bill in general terms?
Back bill is a rebilling of unbilled usage.
Okay. And is a back bill based on actual or estimated usage?
Actual.
Why might actual usage not be reported to WRB each month for billing?
The transmitter was not working in the ERT.
Okay. And what date was the back bill in question issued?
October 17th, 2022.
Did the petitioner or the representative contact WRB about the back bill after it was issued?
Yes.
How many times?
4 times.
When?
October 26th, 2022, October 28th, 2022, November 2nd, 2022, and November 3rd, 2022.
Did the WRB respond to petitioner's inquiries?
Yes.
What did they tell the petitioner they could do about the back bill?
He could dispute the charges
And with what organization?
with the tax review board.
Did they provide a contact information for the tax review board?
Yes.
When?
On October 26th, 2022, October 28th, 2022, November 2nd, 2022, and November 3rd, 2022.
Thank you. And if I'm going to share my screen again, just briefly. Just need to find the relevant item.
If I can jump in while you're doing that, Ms. Brockington, can you just give us a brief description of the payment history for this account where the bills, even we understand they were estimated bills, were they being paid regularly?
Okay, just go back. Yes, it looks like he was making fairly regular payments.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it was set up on an auto pay.
Okay.
And we thank you, honestly. Ms. Brockington Long, can you please read the call key in question I'm sharing into the record?
October 28th, 2022, water customer does not agree with estimated reading bill. If you do not agree with this bill, you can dispute it. Since the bill is over $10,000, you will need to contact the tax review board to place the bill in dispute. You can call them at 215-686-5216.
And what kind of communication was this by?
This was via email.
Okay. Can you please read this into the record as well?
Okay, this was also done via email, November 2nd, 2022. If you do not agree with this bill, you can dispute it. Since the bill is over $10,000, you will need to contact the tax review board to place the bill in dispute. You can call them at 215-686-5216. You can go online to see,
Oh, sorry,
okay.
premature.
Okay, you can go online to see 12 months of bills, which will have the usage each month. You can, your water
You don't need
access
the rest of
code
them.
is blah, blah, blah. Okay.
We
Yeah.
understand. We get it.
Thank you. Now, as of today, does the metering in this property allow for real-time? You know what? I don't need that question. I think that's answered by Anthony. That concludes my direct examination of Ms. Brockington Long.
I have one follow-up question, Ms. Brockington Long, with regard to payments. During the
Yes.
time period following this very large bill in October of 2022, were penalties being added each month based on this balance?
Okay. Okay, here it is. Yes, there's a penalty, the large penalty, November 22nd. Not each month, but yes, there were penalties assessed.
Okay.
Yes,
And
based on that.
as of the most current bill in 2024, what is the balance on the account?
Total balance right now is $10,182.80.
And Ms. Brockington Long, if I may very quickly, does that balance include the adjustment made by the hearing officer / master, whatever it was called at the time?
Yes, yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Foglio, do you have any final questions or comments before the board steps away to deliberate?
Yeah, I think so. I guess if for whatever reason the meter wasn't working properly or who knows, bottom line is I guess we just wouldn't have known that. We would have no way of telling, no way of really doing anything about it. And with the previous history being the same as the estimated billing, it just none of this really made sense to us. After the first hearing, they did adjust it, of course, but they based those, I guess it was 39, I thought it was 32 months, on a month where, the bill was again $260, but even at that point, after the meter was replaced, or what was it called? The ERT was
Yes.
replaced, I believe. After that was replaced, the average bill was $94, or $90.47 a month. So, I mean, I think the only rational way to handle this is to estimate it to $90.47 a month, which, would make sense. It's what we're being billed now, on average. To my knowledge, there was never any major leaks or anything like that. Other than the one in 2023, for a few months. That being said, I feel like if the usage was as high as it says it was, we would have major damage somewhere in that property. That place was renovated a few years ago and it's still in tip-top perfect condition. I mean, I just don't understand where that kind of usage would go. You know what I mean? It's so insanely high that it just does not make sense for a one-bedroom unit. The national average and every other duplex that I've ever seen is right around $80 to $90 a month, and we're talking an estimated bill or adjustment of well over $600 a month for two one-bedroom units. It's just, I don't think it's possible.
We completely understand your point, and we're gonna step back. Everybody just stay where they are, except the board is gonna go into our deliberation room.
I have
Melissa?
Second,
closing.
Mr. Safety?
I have closing, just very
Oh,
briefly.
sorry, go ahead.
Just very briefly, I just want to emphasize again that this petition was filed out of time and that that clearly there seems to be some issues of communication between Mr. Foglio and his representative, which is unfortunate. It's on the petitioner to make sure that that bills are not estimates and to timely file, especially when they're specifically told, here's the number for the tax review board twice within the statute of limitations. And I would contend that the board there's no justification here to consider this case on the merits.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna step aside. Melissa?
Absolutely. Everyone hold tight. Nancy?
Everybody is back.
Yep.
Okay, Tax Review Board is now in session. Do I see Ryan?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Thank you. Our tax review board is now in session. We did take some time to deliberate and just discuss the evidence presented by both sides. While the city does make a strong non-protunct argument, the tax review board has determined that we are going to go forward on the merits, even based on their water revenue records. Petitioner did make efforts through phone calls and other methods of communication to at least try to communicate and determine what was going on with the bill prior to filing his tax review board petition. In addition, we reviewed the evidence regarding usage at the time of the ERT change and post-ERT change when actual meter readings were being received, as opposed to during the time period that were estimated usage that were clearly low, beyond, below what the building actually uses. And it is the decision of the board that for the period June 13, 2019 to March 23rd, 2023, to direct the Water Revenue Bureau to rebill this property based on 1,200 cubic feet per month and to abate penalties. So, Mr. Foglia, that will significantly reduce the deficiency bill that you're challenging. We cannot do the calculations for you. I'm sorry, but based on the actual reading that you were challenging, this will be a significant reduction. You will get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks. An adjusted bill will follow with information. Both sides do have the right to appeal to the Court of Common Pleas. But following 30 days, you can make arrangements to pay the balance based on the Tax Review Board bill that you'll receive. Can I get concurrence from fellow board members?
John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameron Greener, I concur.
Ryan Boyer, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. So, Mr. Foglio, any questions before you are able to leave?
I think that's it. And I appreciate everybody's time and consideration with all this. Thank you.
Okay, take care. You can go and you'll get your information in the mail.
Okay. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
We are going to move on. I have to find the.
The next case is Mr. Wong's case, Alan Wong.
Yes, and I have to find the.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, we're moving on to case number 3. No, which one?
6.
6. Sorry, I have lost the docket. Yes. Alan
By
Wong.
some surprise, I have it.
Property address 1532 South 26th Street.
That's correct.
All right. Mr. Wong, good afternoon. My name is Paula Weiss, Chair of the Tax Review Board. Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the record?
Alan Wong, W-O-N-G.
Thank you. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth?
Yes.
Mr. Wong, I'm going to turn to the city right now for information as to the period of time and dollar amounts in controversy and any opening comments, and then we're going to come back to you, and you will have an opportunity to explain why you're here and what you're looking for from this board.
All
Okay.
right. Okay.
Mr. Safedine?
Would Ms. Brockington Long please state the numbers on the dispute?
Yes, the period in question is October 4th, 2021 through October 21st, 2021. The principal is $504.28, 0 penalty, 0 lien, and the total $504.28.
Now, and I should make a clarification here. And I would invite Mr. Wong to clarify once I'm done here. So I couldn't tell from the petition whether he's actually challenging because there's a back bill in there and then there's a period of high usage, and I couldn't tell if he's challenging the back bill or the period of high usage immediately following the back bill. So to the back bill covered a period from December 4th, 2019 through November 3rd, 2021. On November 3rd, 2021, there was a back bill based on an actual visual reading from the meter face. After that, there was a period of elevated usage. If I may just pull that in Uh, Elevated usage, give me a moment while I pull up the account. Yeah, there was usage. It was spiky. It was higher than had been before the period of estimates. So I want to know if whether Mr. Wong is challenging the back bill and the subsequent usage, or just the back bill.
Okay, so let's turn to Mr. Wong. Mr. Wong, could you tell us why you're here and what you're interested in having us review?
I am here. Actually, I have talked to employees of the department before, at least 2 times. I am challenging, number one, the unusually high bill on November 3rd, 2021, $504.28, and the subsequent penalties because of that. So now, first of all, I challenge the amount, 504.28. I don't know how it came out because nobody gave me any explanation. The most important thing is that bill, whatever amount is owed, if any, should have been charged to my tenant, the consumer, who left almost a month beforehand, and the place was vacant. And because he left, or they left, I used their deposit to cover whatever outstanding bill was. That was August 25th, 2021, $185.59. I paid it all. Okay, so the balance was 0 after payment. Then, of course, there were $42.45. I don't know what happens, but I'm not going to worry about that. The only thing that really concerns me is all of a sudden I get $504.28. I would like the water department to tell me why. Even though, well, it is not important. The important things to me right now is that I leased my house to the tenants and they paid the bill regularly until they left. And I paid the outstanding balance to bring it down to 0. And I don't feel responsible because of any amount, because I am the owner of the property only. I'm not a consumer. So the consumer should be paying, not the owner. And this is stipulated in the lease. The tenants are supposed to pay the bills. And I understand that in Pennsylvania, if such a lease exists, then the landlord is not responsible. And I paid all the way down to 0 when they left.
Okay, Mr. Safedine.
Yes, so to begin with, so I would like to first point out to the board, and I'm finding the relevant law on the subject, that Mr. Wong's understanding of the law is incorrect. In Pennsylvania, the only party with any personal liability for water and sewer usage at a property is the title owner at the time of the usage. At least as respects the as between a municipal provider and the land and the owner of the property. It's also the case under Philadelphia Water Department regulations, which I have to find the particular provision. I have the regulations in front of me. I'm just scrolling to where they can be found. They are somewhat unwieldy.
Actually, when I looked at the water department regulations, they separate consumers from homeowner, and they have different responsibilities.
Okay.
And I would like to know exactly what law you're referring to. Both
yes.
the Pennsylvania law and also the Philadelphia Water Department regulation.
So the Pennsylvania statute is the Municipal Claims and Tax Liens Act, 53 PS 7251, which mentions owners but not tenants.
53,
53 PS 7251.
72, 51,
Yes, sir.
and that is the Pennsylvania statute.
Yes, that may, and if you'll allow me, yes, here we are. Philadelphia water, more clearly and to the point. The Philadelphia water regulation 100.2 I3, which states, and I will share my screen so you can follow along. Owners, whether or not they are customers or occupy the service location where utility service is being provided, remain responsible for paying water sewer charges until the issuance of a discontinuance permit, and remain responsible for paying stormwater charges at all times during ownership. Okay, so this says you are responsible no matter what your tenant does or says, no matter what your lease says. You are responsible as the owner at all times for all water in all cases.
That being said, Mr. Safedine, could Ms. Brockington Long just walk us through this bill in terms of how many months, whether there was,
Yes.
and let's just go through that
Mhm.
succinctly.
I'm sorry, wait.
Quickly, I have some questions for her that may guide her on this subject.
Terrific.
So, how many months did this back bill cover?
Well, I'm concerned about this one because all the other bills look very
I'm
normal.
asking Ms. Brockington Long.
He's
The act
talking
bill
to
that-
his witness, Mr. Wong.
Okay, so,
Ms. Brockington Long, so
Yes,
he's
go
speaking of
ahead.
the back bill of, was it November 3rd of 21?
yes,
And how many months are covered in that back bill?
okay, so, one second. About 22 months.
And how much, excuse me, and how much more usage was billed by that back bill than had already been billed by the estimates?
Sorry, what was the question?
Okay. Let me
Rephrase.
rephrase.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. So how much more usage, how much extra usage did it bill above what had already been billed by the estimates?
105 CCS.
Is that the total that was billed or the difference between the estimates and the?
Okay.
Okay,
yeah,
I
that-
might be
that's the
Let's go
total.
back.
That's the
I can
total.
just, while you're
That's the
looking, can I
total.
just go back for a minute? So
I'm going to share my screen. I'd ask Angela
Bill-
to, but she can't right now.
that's okay. So the bill that was generated as of the 10/27/21 reading was actually 22 months of usage. Is that correct?
Yes,
And the bills received by Mr. Wong for those 22 months leading up to that October 2021 reading were estimates that were low based on the actual reading. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And therefore, the bill that he received was for the extra water he had not been that had been used but not billed because the estimates were too low.
That's correct.
Correct. Okay, thank you. I hope, Mr. Wong, that's helping you understand how we got here.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Safedine?
Now, when you see here, Angela, if you can take a look at here. So when you say 105, is that the total amount of usage between, what is it?
It
December
is-
of 2020, December of 2019?
Yes.
And, yeah, okay. But these estimates, how much did we bill in estimates each month in terms of usage?
Two CCFs each month.
Okay, so we'd already billed them for about 40, what is that?
Well, the difference is between the total 105 and the estimate was the difference is 61 CCFs.
Okay, between this and this.
Yes.
Okay, the final read of 1581 and the estimated reading of 1520. So,
Yeah.
how much extra usage is that over the 22, 23 months? Per month?
Per month.
Yeah, so 61 divided by 23, for the record.
2.6 CCFs per month.
Okay, so not that much,
No.
on average. I'm gonna stop my sharing. I think that should be all to clarify to Mr. Wong whether he wants to proceed.
Okay, Mr. Wong.
And
Go ahead, Mr.
If he wants, I'll wait for Mr. Wong, sorry.
Mr. Wong, do you have any questions for the city's witnesses? Ms. Brockington Long?
Well, all I hear is that the 60, somehow there's a 61 units divided by 23.
That,
My question is that how do you come up with the 61?
from the actual reading of on the meter, apparently for the 22 months leading up to October of 2021, the city was not getting readings from the electronic transmitter from your meter. And so they estimated your bills, your usage, and they estimated low. When they came in October of 2021 and were actually able to look at the meter itself, which was still functioning. Is that correct, Mr. Safedine?
That is correct.
Functioning. They realized that you had that actually on your property, there had been more water usage for those 22 months than they had billed you for. And so the extra amount of money you were billed for was to make up the difference between what they billed you and the water that was actually used. And that's where the 60 cubic feet come in, the extra amount of money. Does that make sense? To get set up clear?
So what you're telling me is that there's a reading somewhere
From your meter.
from a meter.
Yes, if I may, can I briefly call Mr. Ellison?
Yes, but not too technical.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm going to share my screen. Mr. Ellison, do you recognize these photographs?
Yes.
What are they?
It's a picture of the meter, the old meter and the new meter.
Okay, so looking at the old meter, looking at the old meter, can you point out if the reading is visible on the old meter?
Yes.
Can you where is it?
Right there where your cursor is 15.8164.
Okay, so 15.8164. Now, what is this in?
Cubic feet.
Okay, so to get a reading in hundreds of cubic feet or CCF, what do you need to do?
You have to truncate it, so you have to drop the last two digits, which is 6 4, the two black digits.
Okay. Thank you. And if I may point it out to the board that 1581 CCFs is the number that is showing up in the system. So that number, that's your reading, Mr. Wong, right there from the machine.
Okay. So
So,
the difference from the previous reading was 61, that's what you're saying?
The difference from the previous reading that was estimated was 61. The total, the last actual reading was the last actual reading was taken on December 3rd of 2019 and was 1476. So that's why you see 105 when I shared the screen. But we'd already billed you for 46 or 44 of that, and so the difference was 61. Because we'd estimated usage of 2 CCFs per month, when in fact the average usage during that period was probably closer to 5.
So you're telling me that these are from actual readings?
This is an actual reading, correct?
Okay. And that's how I got $504.28.
That's correct.
because the bill actually covers 22 months, not 1 month.
Okay, I understand. All right.
All right, any other questions or comments? Mr.
Okay,
Safety?
all right.
I don't know the significance of this at this point because it really depends on whether Mr. Wong is satisfied with these explanations. But I would like to point out that Mr. Wong says that he intentionally paid these items, and so this is technically not in the right. This technically should be a refund petition, and technically the board lacks jurisdiction. But I won't.
We're a little late.
I know.
We're a little late for that. All right, we'll take
Well,
that.
the thing I did pay
Yes, that's what Mr. Safety
for a
is
month.
explaining to us, that you paid it. Did you have any other questions or anything else you wanted to raise?
All right, well, I mean, if the law says, no, okay. Now what you showed me on the screen, was it the Philadelphia Police Water Department Regulation 10.2 or 10.3?
It's so it's a very annoying name. It's PWD Regulation 100.2 I3.
Okay, okay, section 3. Okay, all right. And what about this? The statute again is
53
53
PS.
P for Paul, S for
Yes.
Sam,
Mm-hmm.
7251.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to step back. You can continue that off the record if you need to. Melissa, I think we're ready to step back.
Sure, if everyone just holds tight.
think we have everybody. George, yes, all right, we're back. Tax Review Board is back in session. Mr. Wong, Mr. Saifedean, the board did discuss the information and evidence provided, reviewed the documents with the meter usage. And Mr. Wong, we're going to deny this petition. We don't feel that there are any changes warranted to the billing provided by the Water Revenue Department. You're going to get a letter from the Tax Review Board in about 2 weeks with that decision. You do have the right of appeal to the Court of Common Pleas should you so desire. Can I get concurrence from fellow board members?
Yes. John O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameradiner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. So thank you, Mr. Wong, for coming in. That concludes the matter. And we're going to move on to our next case still on the docket, which is a case 3. Andrea Young, last 4 digits of the docket, 9600. I am told that Ms. Young is not in our office and not in any virtual waiting room. We have not heard from her. Mr. Saifedean, do you have any information about this case?
I do not.
Okay, therefore, I'm going to recommend that this case be denied for failure to appear, and it appears to me that this is not the first public hearing that she did not show up at. Is that correct, Ms. Andre?
That is correct. She filed her petition on November 16th of 2022. Missed a hearing that was scheduled for April 17th of 2023. Missed an additional hearing that was scheduled. Oh no, that's the same hearing. I apologize. She then appeared on November 3rd of 2023 for her departmental hearing. So she only missed 1 hearing. This is the first one before the board.
All right, then we're just gonna, I'm just gonna recommend we deny this for failure to appear with no other comments. Can I get concurrence from fellow board
John
members?
O'Connor, I concur.
Nancy Cameradiner, I concur.
George Matthews, I concur.
Paula Weiss, I concur. And I believe that completes the docket for today. So thank you all very much and enjoy the weather.
Thank you,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Have a good evening, everyone.
See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Leah, it takes about like 20 minutes for me to get the recording from Zoom, but when I do it, I will send it straight to you.
Okay, you have the ats.scheduling, or you have an email that you use typically?
Yeah, it's the Lexitas. Did you want me to
Okay.
send it to you directly?
No, that's perfect, what you have. Yeah.
All right, great.
Thank you so much. Have
Of
a great
course.
afternoon.
You too.
Mhm.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yes, Nancy.
Yeah, Melissa, when we get to these